Hello, today I'm going to give a presentation about our project which is called Tasman Salinity and Conductivity app, and this in this video I'm going to make the retrospective of Sprint 1, and basically it includes the what I have done and what our teams have done in the Sprint 1. And firstly, in the introduction of our project is important stakeholders are Dirk Hetford, who is the client of the project, and then Ansal Kumar Shrestha, he is the supervisor of the our project, and he has been supervising us in the project. And Rajiv Parazuli, he's our team member, and he's been doing he helps in doing the backend development of the codes, and Gaurav Kumar helps in the front end, and me myself I help in the testing and documentation of the project, and Sarad Mal also helps in the data sourcing and documentation of the project. And the sprint duration are on the sprint 1, it was initiated in 21st of August 2020, and it ended on 4th of September 2020, and this included about 14 days of the there was 14 days of sprint duration. And this one is the net chart, Gantt chart, and here we have written about the sprint 1 initiation, sprint 1 the planning of the project, planning of the sprint 1, and then the execution of the sprint 1. And in the initiation of this sprint 1 there was team formation, team project selections, and the project requirement analysis, and the project storyboards. And then in the project planning, we did the user stories are revised, and then project scheduling and the roadmaps. And in the execution of the sprint 1 we do the research, we have done the research, and mock-up design and database design and documentation and retrospective. And this is also the Gantt chart, but it includes in the it is shown in the figures, like how much the task requires how much times. It's suppose the team formation it was done in one days, and so the team formation is a small one, and the project storyboard it took around 1 week, so the line is a bit long. And this one is the sprint backlog of the sprint 1, and we have included some of the user stories, and what should be the conditions of the satisfaction, and what should be done in the what should be done from the user point of view, the user stories, and then the condition of satisfaction for the user stories, and what are the tasks and estimates that should be done for those user stories. And then in sprint 1 we have done we have taken around 5 user stories, and then we have calculated their conditions and the tasks needed to be done. And what I've learned from I've learned a few things from the sprint 1, and what I've learned is the team coordination and management. We are 4 people, and since we are 4 people, we divided the tasks equally. We suppose one Rajiv has done the project back-end development, whereas Gaurav is working on the front end. Saurabh is also helping in the documentation and also data sourcing, whereas I am also working as the testing and also in the making of the diagrams, and also documentation of the project and planning. We knew that planning is the preparation for success, and so we planned about the project, and how much planning is important for the successful of the project I learned from this sprint 1. And other things I learned from this sprint 1 is ways of drawing the sequential diagrams, the UML diagrams and other sequential diagrams, and how to draw those diagrams. I researched about them, and with the help of the supervisor and my team members and even the clients, I learned how to make some of the diagrams and how to show it in the and also I knew about some of the codings in Pythons, although maybe not much, but because of the team members I learned few of the codings, and also the documentation. The team members also helped me, and I also saw research about how other projects have been doing the documentation. I also learned from this documentation, and this is one of the documentation part that I have done in the sprint. And this one is the product backlog, and how to write the product backlog, and how the sequencing of them in the priority classes and the status. And that's it for this presentation, and thank you so much.